What's up, everyone? I'm Brian Albert, and I'm here with Alfredo Diaz.
Brian, I'm excited.
You're excited? Why are you excited?
Because we're taking a look at and breaking down the single-player trailer for Call of Duty.
Right, we just got one of these in. There was one earlier that had some story stuff, but this one has a little more backstory we haven't seen.
It's got some good stuff, and it's got a nice surprise at the end.
It does. You're going to have to wait for that, though.
And you know me. I'm a multiplayer guy.
I know. I'm more of a story guy, so
I'm pumped for single player.
You can't wait. But let's go look at this here. We started with the good old Abraham Lincoln quote. I've heard of that guy. I believe he's a big figure in American history.
Yeah, he
did something important.
Quite the popular person.
Right, the give him power quote. Actually, the first part of this is mainly a sort of a setup for the story, so we should just be a little quiet and let him talk.
It was the first global terrorist attack in history.
All right, I lied. We're gonna have to interrupt it here.
So good.
Yeah.
How good does this look?
The faces, the stubble, the pores,
and the graphics so far look amazing, but they'll shine even more later on, and they'll be much more detailed. But man, this is looking promising.
Yep, it looks really good, even if it is just cutscenes. Even the gameplay looks good. But let's continue.
They struck nuclear reactors on 5 continents simultaneously.
The VO sounds quite familiar.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like Troy Baker, who's voicing the main character Mitchell in this game. He's setting us up. We don't really know who attacked these 5 continents, these 5 reactors, but he's giving us the setup.
Yeah.
Reactors on 5 continents simultaneously.
That means at the same time.
In an instant, threw our world into chaos.
A lot of urban warfare going on.
Right. That seems to be a very common thing we've seen at some of the levels. 83, in Lagos and in South Korea. It's just a lot of you're on the city streets in this game so far, from what we've seen.
And military crippled, we turned to a private military company called Atlas.
So that's the main setup there. Atlas is this huge private military corporation. Right, Kevin Spacey is in charge of it. You're sort of wondering how did they get in power? Well, this massive attack wiped out all these nations, so now this is the biggest remaining force.
Mm-hmm.
Atlas has the single largest...
Let's pause that right here.
So right here, it looks like we're getting a peek at Atlas as not only their HQ, but kind of the force that, the firepower that they have.
Right, the arsenal. I mean, here, fast forward a tiny bit on these tanks.
Massive.
Up until now, Kevin Spacey's been doing a lot of talk, but he's got all this backing up. The you and what army thing. He actually has some justification.
He's got a huge army behind him.
Has the single largest standing military in the world, but we answer to no country.
Yep, more urban warfare.
Yeah.
Fought our wars. They rebuilt our cities.
More Lagos.
So right there.
What was that? Yep.
You hear the video. He says, "They fought our wars. They rebuilt our cities."
Yeah. So it sounds like Atlas is pulling double duty here. It sounds like the reliance on them is more so than
it's huge, right?
Yeah,
it's they came in and they started putting everything back together.
It's like we wouldn't be around if it weren't for them.
Yeah,
they
which
have tremendous
put a lot of trust, and I'm assuming a lot of power in them, and that's dangerous.
Yeah,
because
Kevin Spacey doesn't seem super trustworthy. No. Let's continue.
The truth is, we often find that we're more effective than the governments that hire us.
All right.
Yes.
Hold on. A little bit further ahead. No.
Super kick.
Yeah, so the Exo-suit, of course, a big part of this game. It gives you all these different powers. You get apparently a super kick. You can turn invis. You can jump really high. Yeah, if you can do this to someone in multiplayer, I'm going to be pretty happy about it. Here we go.
You'll be able to.
Bam.
Awesome.
More superpowers, super jumps.
Super jumps, yep.
And
this is awesome.
Yep. Let's go back and look at that a little slower.
Hook?
Yeah, they're pushing, mobility in this game, and it seems like...
Which I think is going to be awesome, because I'm sitting here thinking, how is this all going to transition to multiplayer, multiplayer maps, they're more and more, they're becoming less just fighting on flat terrain, and more about, different levels and stuff like that.
Right. I wonder if that would be, a thing on a cooldown. It would have to be, right? Otherwise, it would just be crazy.
I don't know.
No?
I feel like your mech suit stuff, yes. I feel like that's something you'll have to, a slot will have to be taken up for.
Sure.
Also,
and
here, we
go
have
for it. Female soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's jumping, being awesome, flipping over in the air. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We gave them an immense amount of responsibility. And with that, an immense amount of power.
We are going...
And just to look at that again, this was one of those... You know, there are these mech variants. They're sort of like the smaller and the medium suit. This is one of the big ones.
I'm wondering if you'll be able to call this in as like a strike package for multiplayer.
It might be. I mean, we saw it.
This could be the new Juggernaut.
He gets that gun going, and he in the last trailer he was taking out tons of enemies. Yeah, he's going to be super powerful.
An immense amount of power.
We are going in.
An operation on foreign sovereign soil, it would be an act of war without congressional approval.
Atlas is an internationally registered private company. We don't need Congress.
So good.
So good.
We just had to let him talk there.
Good.
Yeah, it's sort of showing him messing around, you know, because he's not a... Atlas is not a nation.
Yes.
There's nothing...
there's just so
there's
much
nothing he has
like,
to
level
abide
of detail in the facial
Right.
expressions.
This
like,
is...
If you rewind back...
Are you going to point out the same thing I did?
Yeah, you can see that he's wearing... You wore glasses
Yep.
because you
I was going to point that out, too.
Nose,
I mean, it seems silly to point it out, but, like, that's...
But still,
that's really good. It looks really good.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't see that.
No. And it seems like, you know, they're in... Kevin Spacey's in here. I keep calling him Kevin Spacey. His name's Irons. But he's in on this, like, meeting with these higher, you know, U.S. officials. He's clearly, like, in deep with this.
An act of war without congressional approval.
Atlas is an internationally registered private company. We don't need Congress.
Get out of here with your Congress. All right. Who do
So
we have
you
here?
pointed out something earlier, right?
Yeah. So this is Mitchell. This is the main character that you play as. I believe the campaign spans 8 years of Mitchell's life. He loses his arm in the first mission we saw at E3. Also, voiced by Troy Baker, kind of looks like Troy
Definitely
Baker.
has a kind of...
He's got some
like
Troy Baker
look going.
features. Yep. Also, sort of worth noting down by the Mitchell there, it shows his age, his height, and you know that's a big thing in Call of Duty now. They're trying to get everything realistically like built into a HUD, like you would see it with that technology.
That's correct.
So kind of cool. Here we go.
The little camera drone.
Yeah, a little drone, maybe a listening device
Fly.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
I was joking, but try shooting that down in multiplayer.
It would suck. That better not be
Nothing would
something
hit
I have
that.
to do. No, I'm just kidding. So this is awesome.
Yeah.
That looks like, you know, your typical mech suit, but kind of like a snow variant.
Right, you see the when he goes for there we go, the spikes on the bottom. Also, this is sort of a neat throwback, I think, to the Modern Warfare 2 level where you're climbing the edge with soap and you're like sticking the pickaxes in. Yeah.
For sure. Camo.
Yep, a little bit of that level we
cool.
saw earlier where you're invis the whole time. You're kind of being evaded, or you're evading these like spy drones. Yeah, that stuff looks cool.
Oh, I'm excited for what comes up.
I am too.
Well, yeah.
Here we go. The same woman we saw earlier in a fight with this guy. Pretty serious fight. I mean, I don't want to be involved in that. Oh.
Yes. I don't know if I'm happy about this, but
You don't know if you're happy about this?
I don't know. I don't know if I like.
Let's
I know
just
this
say
might
it.
transition into multiplayer, and I don't know if I'm gonna like jetpacks in multiplayer. I didn't like jetpacks in Halo.
I mean, I like how you always try to think of what's going to happen in multiplayer. Because, like, in single player, sure, you're
Oh no, it's
Iron Man flying
fun,
around,
like cinematic experience for sure.
right. Here we go.
But I'm not sure if I'm ready for like dudes flying around in jetpacks in multiplayer.
I don't know how that would work. I feel like that would take a lot of
I
bouncing.
hope it doesn't transition over. I don't think it.
No, it probably won't. A little bit more from the first level. We're in South Korea. That's where Mitchell loses his arm. We saw that at E3.
Yeah, I was kind of, I was like, whoa, they showed that?
Yeah.
Nuts.
More the drone swarms again. This is definitely a futuristic game. Apparently they can't get through car doors though. It's the ultimate shield. Bam, 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 bam. One more look at what's probably their HQ.
That's a big
Compensating
power,
much,
huge
right?
building.
That's huge.
And I have the power. So I'm right.
All right,
Rewind. Let's hear that line again.
yeah, let's do it. We'll let Kevin Spacey go out and steal the show.
Ideas don't determine who's right. Power determines who's right. And I have the power. So I'm right.
Yep. Power changes everything. The big tagline for this
Exactly.
game. Yep.
From here, we thought it was done and
Yeah.
over with.
Oh, look, it's over. There's the game title
Yay,
coming in
Advanced
November.
Warfare.
Wait for it. Oh, but look.
All right, let's just let this bad boy play out.
Yeah,
real quick.
we'll let it go through once.
Okay,
Let's
the
go
world
back.
premiere for multiplayer 8, 11, 14. Let's rewind.
This is your moment, Alfredo.
This is what
Let's
I'm
go.
excited for. First off, okay, jetpack.
All right, this guy is chasing.
We knew that we could dash left and right.
Sure. Yeah, you get the dashes. We knew that.
But you get this like
now you can kind of
backwards
boost
dash animation.
I'm not sure how it's going to work. I mean,
like what if you're in a tunnel? Like is it just cut off the animation?
I mean, there's only certain areas where that would work,
down.
right? Like he's hot. He just flew up to a second story.
Down,
comes around, and now he's behind the person that was chasing
it's like
him.
the turnaround animation. You can just turn on a kid easily.
Yeah, that's pretty
very,
good.
very interesting. Over here, we see some customization.
This is just that normal dash that we were talking about. Yeah, side to side.
But you get the customization.
Yep,
on
we got
the,
that custom
Exo-suit, which
the
looks
numbers,
awesome.
the red, yellow. Yeah, it looks good. And then here we go. Let's talk. So there's been events in Call of Duty before.
Yeah.
So,
but they're very simple, very small.
Right. This is a wave that is coming to wipe someone out. Presumably.
Yeah, this is like big Battlefield-S type like map events.
Right. Also, we're in San Francisco, up in the top right, Golden Gate
My
Bridge.
question is like, is this going to be something that kind of just comes through and you have to like just hope you're inside a building? Is it going to change the way like the terrain is? You know what I mean?
Sure. Oh, if it's, it'll just be there and then it's done and you move on.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
If we take it back.
Yeah, let's go right about here.
Yeah. I mean, just at the bottom right, we see looks like a couple different like strike package options that he's shooting for. And it looks like it's a point-based system. And then if you're looking right next to on the left side of the 19, there's like two symbols with like bars.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking maybe that's like the Exo-suit abilities. And
like you have 5 uses of these two different powers, like those 5 ticks,
like a recharge,
or it's recharging.
or maybe like that's how many uses you get. Like I'm assuming that's like your Exo-suit.
We're not sure, but when we'll know?
Sure
maybe at this multiplayer premiere.
Yes, I'm excited.
I am too.
We'll see. I get excited, and then I play it and I have fun.
I understand. You should be excited. But that's the Rewind Theater. Mostly story stuff, but with a little multiplayer surprise at the end. And we're going to have much more on multiplayer very soon. For more on Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, keep it locked to IGN.